For years now, I've been trying to figure out how to regulate market manipulation because it's very hazardous to an economy. It means that people will pay inflated prices for things that aren't even necessarily superior, but can be produced cheaper, and will fall into a gimmick, and it's like bait and switch. It's not ethical. Let's just put it that way. But how do you prevent it? A lot of it happens in video gaming, and in the last 15 years, video games have become a huge, it's just like the 80s again. They will sell something premature and cut out like testers and stuff, and they will sell you things that you now need to update. And so they will update your software, your personal property, and that prevents you from being able to choose what updates you want to use your software. And they can now then, based on this idea of what is better, they will then diminish the quality of your everything, pretty much, your software. They diminish the quality of your ability to play the game so that they can force you to buy new products, but it's based on the incentive. The excuse is that it saves the older, decaying console, and the console is designed specifically to decay in a certain timeline. And so, it's not like in NES. It's not like in the 90s when these things were going to last forever, and the games are so nostalgic now that you still have a fond memory for them. But these games now are being designed that you can only, say, play them once a week to acquire certain things and achievements in the game, to consolidate and capitalize on whatever the word, I can't think of the word right now, but it analyzes from a computational means and how that they can stretch out less and fabricate more. Well, that is market manipulation, and video gaming is a great example of that. But how do you regulate it? You can't when it comes to video gaming. Except, it dawns on me right now, we have a perfect example of how to fight these fucking cunts. Because they're shitty people. They're really horrible people. They don't give a fuck about you or what you're doing. Video gaming, it was about providing, just no different than TV, a way to enjoy your time freely with distractions and entertain yourself in. And now it's just about manipulating and profiteering people. And so the Ford GT is reselling for $1.5 million. Its actual sale price is $500,000. So in America, we still have some ethical business practices, in a sense, but my mouth is just not stop watering. That Ford, too, is refusing openly to supply the demand for the Ford GT. You have to apply to buy this car, and now it's selling for 3 times its original sale price and market value, and it's only been like 5 years. I don't know how long it's been, but it hasn't been a very long time. Ford GT's been out, the new one, and I think 2015 or 2016 it came out. But right there is market manipulation. It's an unwillingness, though you have the ability and opportunity to supply demand, you refuse to. And so if more Ford GTs are made, why do people want them so bad? Well, they're aesthetic. They take a whole new aspect of aerodynamics, and it's a really interesting and cool car. But like I've said for so long, like everybody could have a Ferrari. Everything's calculated and designed on computers now. Everything's basically handled by fucking robots. And we could mass produce, but we refuse to. And it doesn't make any sense, like why people can't have their dreams. Now, in terms of performance, that can be a huge issue because we don't have any way to test reflex capacity when it comes to getting your license. But you have to have a racing license to race your car. Why don't we have similar things? Because people will buy a high performance vehicle and they will not know how to control it, and if you come up on them, they will slam on their brakes, and they can brake half the distance you can. If you have drum brakes, it's very dangerous. And these people that have slow reflex capacities can often make a mistake like that and cause an accident for things that just don't even make sense. Like me, I was driving down a mountain road, a canyon road, and this SUV with four-wheel disc brakes, and we're supposed to be coasting. My Jeep's full of stuff, and I have drum brakes in the rear and discs in the front. They don't even know the performance capabilities of my vehicle, and they slam on their brakes for people that are 30 feet to the right of them in a parking lot walking. And so this is a road where typically a majority of people coast down it smoothly. We don't ride our brakes here because these older vehicles like mine, your brakes will fail. And so the newer vehicles, they're so fancy now, but mine's all analog. And this whole concept of market manipulation goes into sort of how people are so ignorant to the fact of that. They're not paying attention to their surroundings, and they're decaying the entire market because of it. And well, I went off topic because of that misdirection, but how to regulate market manipulation, and that too, just like somebody that can slam on their brakes and you hit them, and in certain states, if you have a rear end collision, you are at fault. You can manipulate that heavily in certain places, as long as you have a vehicle that shows that it was predetermined, that you can analyze that. So how do you show predetermination of market manipulation? It appears to be that the way with the Ford GT, that's the perfect concept, in that they refuse to support demand. They have the ability to, they can do it. Now, looking at an artist, I can only make one painting at a time, and I can only do so many brush strokes. I get tired, my eyes will start to see brush strokes everywhere I look, and it makes my eyes kind of itchy, my brain kind of itchy. So I don't paint heavily like I used to. But that quality has to be there for me to love my paintings. Now, a Ford GT, there's so much heavy engineering now for weight displacement and quality materials and parts and everything, that we can engineer things that are reliable and will last plenty long. But people are designing products to be less reliable, though they could feasibly be mass produced in a reliable manner. And parts for these cars, it's very difficult to just say, oh, well, the blinker switch or something, some switch that you're going to drive this car. Feasibly, a lot of people, and statistically, in the study of exotic cars, don't drive their fucking cars. So they're not even trying the technology out to make sure that it lasts. And that's a huge issue. that you can just design flaws into things now to profiteer from them. And we're not meeting dreams. We're not bettering a system. I mean, look at all these cars that we mass produce. Why can't you choose what shape you want your mass in? And what form of technology you want the mass of what you are buying? Because that's how it all equates, is to mass. It's just that then we overcomplicate it with engineering processes, and that differentiates our marketability. But for the most part, setting up an AutoCAD and a 3D design software that builds a car basically for you, that you don't even need people in the factory anymore hardly, it's market manipulation. People could have their dream cars, and then we could modify each car to each person's specific needs, not necessarily, if you have a certain reflex capacity so that you're not just slamming on your brakes and causing a collision, you could have any beautiful car that you want, and it could perform any way that you want. It doesn't make any sense. Where are we headed? What are we working towards? Because things can be made so efficiently, so effectively, so cheaply. In the next 10 years alone, with the inventions that I have in my brain, the things that I know that we can do and make affordable with what is considered like advanced engineering and all this top level technology, it's really laughable to an inventor, because you're just creating an illusion of luxury, is what it is. We are feeding this innate instinct. It's the superiority complex. I mean, we're the fucking apes with the totem, and we're holding it over the apes and asking them to bow down and worship us. We are not evolved. We're very fucking primitive. I mean, people are not good. They're not as good as they think they are. Every fucking day, I'm driving in the store, and I leave at random times, and for some reason, there's always a pickup truck in front of me, and they are obstructing efficiency. They want to get right in front of you and block you. It's gotten to the point where I just break laws now, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of a light turning red. I see a car driving 3 blocks towards a green light that turns red when they get to it. So one car that's been waiting all that time, and no other cars are around, can go. What the fuck is that about? It's pathetic. People are fucking pathetic. Because they accept this. You're not making your choices. You didn't see an open road. This red light is not just. There is no cause, concern, or potential of conflict. I mean, it's a conflict of interest. That's what it is. It's an interest of the people that these systems that we design are being exploited against us through manipulating us and controlling us. And then we're told that there's global warming because of all these vehicles and fuel and all this other bullshit. Though nobody's ever done the actual fucking chemistry to understand why gasoline is one of the best fuels that you could ever envision. As I've designed my own fucking engine, that I needed to actually design a new type of fuel. I needed a new molecule so that my engine could function. I realized how much better gasoline is, and I changed my engine and fixed it so that it functioned with gasoline, because gasoline is good. It's a great fuel. And also, you can run from these fucking cunts who think that they need a button to shut your vehicle off if you break a rule or a law that is unjust. 15 minutes. Alright, this is enough.